I have been getting a lot of messages on social media. Um, People are like, Skills, man, you're somebody who speaks a lot about football, but you won't speak about my team. And the team they're talking about is Liverpool. And it's not that I don't speak about your team. It's that when I watch the Premier League, I watch a lot of Manchester United. And I got to the point where I kind of stopped making Manchester United videos a lot because when I did, I'm screaming, I'm yapping, I'm yelling because it's just frustrating to see where Manchester United is and what they've become. But I'm paying attention to Liverpool, and I've watched a lot of their games this season, and I've been paying very, very close attention. And if you watch my video where I was talking of the Champions League and I was talking of the teams in the Champions League, I spoke heavily about Benfica was either going to play Liverpool or Barcelona. And I know it's a double-edged sword, right? I don't want to play either of them. But Liverpool scares me. Liverpool scares me. And the reason Liverpool scares me, because I believe there is a guy on that team that deserves to win the Ballon d'Or this season. And a lot of people are going to say, no, this, nah, blah, blah, boom, boom, bang, bang, Mbappe, boom, boom, this guy, boom, boom, that guy, boom, boom, this guy, boom, boom, that guy. Guys, the season Mo Salah's having is something that needs to be studied. And the fact that more people aren't talking about it is the same thing that's happened all of Mo Salah's career. There is two players that play in the Premier League that people around the world do not talk about more. The first one is Mo Salah, and the second one is Ronaldo, a.k.a. Son. These two players have been and are top of European football, and they've been for a long time. Son in more of a really tough situation for him, being at Spurs for so long. And it's not that Spurs are a bad team. It's just Spurs don't win many trophies. So when a team's not winning many trophies, it's hard for you to get the recognition you deserve. And then Mo Salah has been doing it crazy in the Premier League for years, and people don't talk about it often. But I just want to give you a little bit of stats really quickly. In the Premier League, stat leaders, in 27 games, Liverpool had 27 games have happened in the Premier League, right? Some teams are on 26 games, but most Liverpool's on 27. In that time frame, Mo Salah has put up 25 goals. And for assists, 16. He leads the top assists and he leads the top goal scorer in the Premier League. A league where Haaland plays in, a league where Isaac plays in, a league where Son plays in, a league where a lot of absolute insane goal scorers play. Haaland has 19 goals this season, so does Isaac. Mo Salah is a winger, okay? Mo Salah is a winger with 25 goals, and Isaac and Haaland are both straight-up number 9s with 19. Mo Salah is a winger. He has more assists than Saka, and Robinson has 10, and Saka has 10. He has 16. He has 6 more assists than anybody else in the Premier League. Liverpool is by far one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best. In my opinion, they are the best. Now, you'll say, Skills, why is Liverpool the best? They are massively far apart from the team in second place in the Premier League. Not massively, but a pretty big gap. When we talk about Premier League, that's a big gap. They also won the Champions League group. And a lot of people say, well, that's not a big deal to win the Champions League table. Real Madrid went to a playoff. Dortmund went to a playoff. Bayern went to playoff. AC Milan went to playoff. PSG went to playoff, who are dominating Liga. Man City went to playoffs. A little bit of a bad season for them. Benfica went to playoffs. Bayer Leverkusen went directly in. Atletico Madrid went directly in. Inter went directly in. Arsenal went directly in. Barca went directly in. But only one team went directly in with only dropping points in one game, and that's Liverpool. They lost one game. They didn't even tie. They lost one game and put up 21 points. And the game they lost in the Champions League was the very last game, I believe. When it was all said and done, they knew they weren't going to lose first place anymore, and then they lost to PSV in match 8, which means they were undefeated in the Champions League until it didn't matter. Had they played probably their real team and really went for it, you probably see Liverpool go undefeated in this competition. Did they play their full team? They might have played their full. They might have not. Either they played their full team, they didn't. Regardless, they got a red card in this game. So obviously that's a big impact. I haven't talked more about Liverpool, if I'm being fully honest with you, because again, when I make videos on the Premier League, I talk heavily about Manchester United. And even now, I want to switch the attention to Manchester United, but I'm not going to. We're going to focus on the team that deserves the attention. And by the way, again, I don't support no team except for Benfica. Liverpool is a team I watched growing up a lot, so I'm very happy for them here because, as you guys know, the greatest English player of all time is Steven Gerrard. Stevie G, for me, is the greatest English player of all time. It's crazy because I know David Beckham was better. I know Wayne Rooney was better. A lot of people say Lampard was better. I get it. But for me, I really, really liked Stevie G. It was something about him, the way the captain he was, the person he was. But looking at Liverpool's lineup, there was no Mo Salah. Dennis was at the striker, Gakpo. So Liverpool didn't really play their team. Otherwise, we're probably looking at Liverpool going undefeated in a league stage in the Champions League. And you see what they're doing in the Premier League. So all in all, it's simple. For me, Liverpool is the best team in Europe. Barca's right there with them, but they're the best team in Europe because in the competition that really matter, right? I know like a lot of people are like, well, Skills, you're going to talk about how they got knocked out of the FA Cup, or we're just going to completely ignore that because they did get knocked out. They got knocked out in recently too. It was right around the same time they lost their first. I'm trying to pull it up. Right around their first, they lost 1-0 in the FA Cup fourth round. Honestly, if I'm being real, people are gonna judge me for this. That's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing. And I know you'll laugh at me, but I've been saying this to my cousin as a Benfica fan. You go to the Benfica won the Taça da Liga, and now they're still in the Taça de Portugal. They're in the Champions League and then the Premier League. It's too much. I mean, in the Portuguese league, it's too much. 4 competitions. You got to give one up here, man. You got to give one up because it's too much with international games. As many international games there were this year, it's too much. So in my opinion, if you're gonna lose something, lose a cup. Get knocked out of a cup. And you're this far ahead in the Premier League, or you're doing well in the Premier League, keep your attention there. And the Champions League, you're in a really good spot. So for me, if you're gonna get eliminated out of anything, it should be one of these cups that you're playing in. So in my opinion, yes, they got eliminated for a cup, but it should be something that they're not fully focused on. They're in 2 of the major competitions, the big ones, and they got to pick up a win in one of them because you got to put the cherry on top of this unbelievable season for Mo Salah. And the last thing I'll say is it's going to be a sad day if Mo Salah leaves that club, and it looks like he is. I've seen interviews of him say he wants to leave in a certain way. If he wins the Premier League and who knows, in the Champions League as well, and he walks away from Liverpool with this type of a season, it might be one of the best endings to a run with a team that we've seen. Ronaldo had a really good exit. He left after a Champions League win, and Liverpool, Salah can do something very similar. So it's going to be sad if he doesn't re-sign. I hope he re-signs. It doesn't look like he's going to re-sign. I don't think he has re-signed. I don't know where his future is going to go from here, but Mo Salah is by far. Listen, we talk about best wingers in the world, and everybody hypes up Lamine Yamal and Vinicius Jr. and this and that, and Salah, for this year, he's the best winger in the world. For this year, he's probably the best player in the world right now. People don't want to say it. People aren't going to want to admit it. But this guy is beyond unbelievable, but beyond deserves more respect. And it's not really given. Mo Salah's incredible. Liverpool's been incredible on defense. They've been incredible on offense. They've just been an incredible football team. They got Newcastle tomorrow. When I'm making this, it'll be tomorrow, but I'm not sure when it's going to go up. But the goals for are 64 this season. 64 goals in the Premier League in 27 games. And they have suffered 26 goals. They have suffered pretty much a goal a game, just a little bit under that. But they have scored double their games, bro. That's unreal. They are banging in finishes. They're almost at 70 goals scored already in 27 matches. Liverpool is on fire, man. Liverpool is a team to be reckoned with. They're a team to be talked about. And I'm sorry to all Liverpool fans that have been asking me to make a video on you guys. A lot of people are like, Scales, we just annihilated Man City and you didn't make a video, man. I'm kind of disappointed. I watched y'all annihilate Man City. I think a lot of us saw that coming. But it just felt that it felt that if I made a video on them, I would have to make a video on Manchester United. But I got myself to make a video on Liverpool strictly. I didn't talk about Manchester United. I avoided it. Manchester United fans, if you want me to talk about United, I will put a video out. Liverpool fans, congratulations on this season. And I hope Mo Salah wins a Ballon d'Or because at the moment, that boy deserves it. Thank y'all for watching.